So the Nintendo Switch has another FPS to add to the collection on the definitive gaming experience known as the Nintendo Switch. So I gotta be honest, I had to contain myself because I was throwing money at the screen after I just saw the trailer, saw how much hype, how much character, and just saw how fun the game looked. But I had to take a step back and dissect the game because I'll be honest with you, I haven't played a Call of Juarez game before and it was absolute buns and I did not enjoy it. But this game low-key leaned over and whispered in my ear with this deep-ass Kotal Khan voice and said, "Baby." Now, after I watched the trailer, I was honestly pretty excited to play the game. I haven't really played a Western-style game in a pretty long time, and I just had to make sure, once actually playing the game, did it deliver on my expectations? Was it actually worth the $20 that I actually paid for the game? So let's go ahead and get them snacks ready, and let's go ahead and jump in this review.
You know how much I love that Nintendo Switch!
What's going on YouTube? It is your boy QKG and we're getting down with the first review of 2020, and I had to go back on a game that I looked at and I really wanted to play in the last month of December but just didn't have the funds for, and that is Call of Juarez Gunslingers. One great thing that I really enjoyed was actually the upgrades and the abilities that your Gunslinger actually gets in the game. That's including the time slowing abilities, faster reloads, and the ability to dodge a fatal bullet by either dodging left or right. Just made the action just feel a whole lot different. And for my OG Wii players out there, yes, this game has motion control, so this will actually be motion control heaven for you, because this is not a game that has a complex narrative. It is not going to knock your socks off with the story. This game is a straight shooting gallery. There's nothing to do within the game but shoot bad guys and just have fun while you're doing it, as weird as that sounds. Now, this is a section of the review where I just kind of give up a little bit deep inside, just because this is the part of the review where I just sit down and I just kind of talk, kind of like one-on-one, just honestly how I feel from touching the game. Not anything written out, anything typed out, anything at all. So, overall, when it comes down to the game, is the game fun and enjoyable? There are aspects to where I have a blast. Are there things in the game that annoy me? Yes. The level design is just not great. Even when it comes down to the color palette that's used, when you have a yellow star that you need to put in certain places and everything is in the wild west to where it's literally just mixes of yellows and browns and tans and whatever, it makes it to where sometimes you get lost and then you're forced to hit that button just to put you back on track, even though that's what it's for, to help you get unstuck. But it's just very confusing to the eye a lot. With this being a Western game, you're just honestly not gonna get a lot of weapons, and that is my main thing within the game. Is as long as the upgrade system is great within the game, this one is decent, but it is not enough to keep me playing this game. Honestly, I have not even beaten the game yet because I didn't make it all the way out before this review, and just off the sheer fact that the game just didn't keep me that engaged. The story is delivered through narration, through the main cowboy kind of going through his bad boy stories by taking down different gangs and different rival cowboys, and that kind of aspect, if it's done the right way, it turns out into a great product. Not to say that the narration's bad, the voice acting's great, it's just the stories that are told are just not great. But the one redeeming factor of the game, even though we're talking about all that negativity, was actually the duels within the game. The duels were just so enjoyable. I love the camera angle. It just kept the action just kind of tense. And not a lot that you can do within those duels to make them that engaging. They actually made it to where you had to duel two people at once, which I thought was pretty cool. But once you get past this dueling multiple people at once, it kind of gets stale after a while. So with this game being a port, of course we have to talk about how it runs on Nintendo Switch, and mainly just because this game was kind of meant for older hardware, it runs just fine on Nintendo Switch and looks pretty decent, even though the art style definitely reminds me of the Borderlands side, minus that heavy style of outlining on the characters. But overall, the animations definitely look good. I didn't like some of the other animations when it came down to the upgraded carbine, but overall animations look pretty nice. And the effects were pretty cool, and I definitely like the little trick shots that pop up, kind of like how Bulletstorm did as well. So overall, the whole presentation of the game is done well, and I mean, it's a $20 game. It does not break the bank at all. Even though I have my nitpicks, I gotta say I really did have fun with the game. So we're gonna start off at the bottom of what happened if the game is just absolute buns. They work all the way up to a meh if I didn't like the game, then a needs work, decent, and fuego boy if the game is absolute fire. And I can't lie, guys, I am just not a huge Western fan. But does that mean I didn't enjoy the game? That is actually the polar opposite. I'm someone who does not really care too much for Westerns, mainly because there's not a lot that you can do when it comes down to the actual weapons, besides having some supernatural abilities or anything like that. But I have to say, gameplay alone, mechanics, just the character of the game, I have to honestly say I really enjoyed. There were times where I had to stop the review and think, like, do I really enjoy the game, or is it just the gunplay that I enjoy? Is everything else trash in the game? To be honest with you, I don't like the story. The story is told in a narration which could make it really cool, but then it throws in these weird, oddball, like, godlike, abilities where he's like, oh, a magical path gets cleared in front of me, and then everything gets moved by God's force, and it's just like, dude, it breaks the immersion. The way Western games work is with immersion. That's why Red Dead Redemption did so well, and besides, it was made by Rockstar Games. But did the game immerse me within that style? When it was in the duels, yes, it did. It had me very immersed, and I was waiting for that dude to so much just touch that gun. But everything else, when it comes down to gameplay, it was just a shooting gallery, which I enjoyed, but overall story was just not there. But I have to honestly say, what really made this game also decent was the fact that the price is extremely cheap. It's literally $20. You get your arcade mode, you get your duels mode, and you get the story mode. But overall, everything else in the game I really enjoyed. I just feel like the story could have been either told in a different way or handled a different way. But overall, it is definitely a decent pickup. It's a $20 game. Is it one of my favorite games? No, but did I really have fun with the game? Yes, I sure did. So I would love to thank you guys for tuning in this review, and as always, make sure you leave your comments down below if there's any games you want me to review next. This is your boy Quentin from So I would like to end off this review by saying thank you guys so much for tuning in with me all the way through 2019. Hopefully it's going to be a 2020 as well, too. I was going to say everything else everybody else say. Any which way, I would love to thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy QKG, and peace out.